Imagine this for a moment. It's late at night, the kind of night where the air feels warm, the world feels quiet, and everything around you fades into softness. You slip under the covers, and before you even reach out, he turns toward you with that slow, hungry look. The look that says, God, I want you. I've been waiting for this moment with you all day. Not because you did something dramatic, not because you tried to be a fantasy version of yourself, but because you tapped into a deeper, more magnetic part of your feminine energy, one that draws him in without effort, without force, almost like gravity. He feels it in the way you breathe, in the way your hand brushes against his, in the quiet confidence of your presence. And in that moment, he's not thinking about anything else, not work, not stress, not the outside world, just you. Tonight, I'm going to share the 5 secrets that awaken this exact feeling inside your husband. The secrets that make him feel not just satisfied, but desired, connected, and completely obsessed with you in the most intimate way. These aren't tricks. These are truths that transform your bedroom and your bond like never before. First and most powerful secret to satisfying your husband in bed like never before is understanding the kind of energy you bring with you when you enter that space together. Men don't fall in love with technique or performance. They fall in love with how a woman feels when she's with them. When you show up in the bedroom with presence instead of pressure, everything changes. Presence is when you're fully in the moment with him, not worried about how you look, not stuck in your head, not thinking about the dishes in the sink, not rehearsing some perfect move. It's when your entire energy says, I'm here with you, for you, completely. That alone is intoxicating to a man. Men can feel when your mind is somewhere else. They can feel when you're stressed, tense, self-conscious, or disconnected. And that affects their confidence more than you realize. But when your body softens, when your breathing slows, when you look at him and allow yourself to melt into the moment, you awaken a primal side of him that only surfaces when he feels truly invited. Men respond to feminine presence like fire responds to oxygen. The more relaxed, receptive, and emotionally open you are, the more his masculinity rises to meet you. This doesn't mean you have to act like some goddess who always knows what to do. In fact, it's the opposite. Presence comes from letting go and being real. It's letting him see your desire, your reaction, your emotion without overthinking any of it. It's the small things, the way you touch his face, the way you trace your fingers along his back, the way you breathe into his neck, the way your eyes soften when he looks at you. These subtle signals tell him, I'm here with you. And that is more erotic than anything you could ever perform. Men are incredibly sensitive to the energy of their partner. They don't always articulate it, but they feel it. When you're tense, they get hesitant. When you're unsure, they pull back. But when you surrender into the moment, when you relax your shoulders, let your body lean into his, let your hands explore him at your own pace, he feels free. He feels wanted. He feels safe to give you more, touch you deeper, love you harder. Presence also means letting go of perfection. A man is not thinking about your flaws the way you think about them. He's thinking about the warmth of your body against his. He's thinking about your scent. He's thinking about the softness of your skin, the way you exhale when he touches you, the way your lips part when he kisses you. He wants your authenticity, not your perfection. The moment you stop trying to be impressive and start allowing yourself to be expressive, he experiences you on a level that satisfies him emotionally and physically. When you enter the bedroom with this kind of presence, slow, intentional, sensual, you don't have to do anything extraordinary. Your energy becomes the seduction. Your confidence becomes the invitation. Your softness becomes the spark that makes him feel like he's with a woman who truly wants him, not a woman trying to impress him. And that is what satisfies a man more deeply than any technique ever could. One of the most powerful things you can do to satisfy your husband in bed is to make him feel truly desired, not just welcomed, not just accepted, but wanted in a way that hits him right in his masculine core. Men don't just crave sex, they crave the feeling of being chosen. They want to feel that you want them just as much as they want you. And the moment a man senses that desire coming from you, not forced, not fake, but raw and real, his entire energy shifts. He becomes more affectionate, more attentive, more passionate. He gives you a version of himself that only appears when he feels deeply desired by the woman he loves. There's a huge difference between allowing intimacy and initiating it. When you allow it, he feels like he has to tiptoe around your mood, like he's waiting for permission. But when you reach for him first, when you touch his arm, slide your hand across his stomach, kiss the back of his neck, or whisper something soft and sexy in his ear, you awaken a hunger in him that no routine intimacy could ever create. Men are simple in this way. If you show him you want him, he becomes instantly drawn to you. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Even the smallest gestures light him up. Brushing your lips against his shoulder when he's getting ready in the morning. Pressing your body gently against his when you pass him in the kitchen. Slipping your arms around his waist from behind while he's distracted. Or even sending him a single playful text that says, "I can't wait for later." These things send a message that echoes in a man's mind all day. She wants me. And that feeling, the feeling of being desired by the woman he adores, is one of the deepest satisfactions a man can experience. Men often carry silent insecurities they never express. They worry if they still excite you. They wonder if you still find them sexy. They question if they're still enough for you. But when you show desire, those insecurities melt instantly. Your touch, your words, your energy, tell him, without explanation, you are the man I want. And that message alone makes sex feel different for him, more emotional, more connected, more alive. Desire doesn't always look wild or bold. Sometimes it's the softness in your voice when you call him baby. Sometimes it's the way your fingers slide into his hair when you kiss him. Sometimes it's the way you pull him closer in bed without speaking a word. Desire is energy. It's the warmth in your eyes, the electricity in your touch, the way your body leans into his as if it's the most natural thing in the world. When a man feels truly desired, he doesn't just want to satisfy you, he wants to worship you. He becomes more confident, more expressive, more eager to please. He starts paying attention to your cues, your reactions, your pleasure, because your desire fuels his passion. And the more you show that you want him, the more he wants to give you everything he has, every night, every time, in every way. One of the deepest, most erotic things a woman can give a man is her response, her genuine, unfiltered reaction to the pleasure he gives her. Men don't just want to touch you, they want to affect you. They want to see that what they do to you creates something real, something powerful, something you can't hide, even if you tried. Your response isn't just a bonus, it's the fuel that turns him on more than anything else. When you let yourself feel, let yourself react, let yourself surrender to the moment, you awaken something inside him that no technique or performance ever could. Men are incredibly visual, but not in the way people think. They're not just turned on by bodies, they're turned on by the way a woman's body responds to their touch. The way your breath catches when he kisses your neck, the way your back arches when his hands move across your skin, the way your fingers grip his arm, his shoulders, his hair. When you're lost in the moment, those tiny involuntary reactions, those are the things that make a man feel powerful, connected, masculine, and deeply satisfied. A lot of women hold back without realizing it. Maybe they're shy. Maybe they're afraid of being too much. Maybe they're stuck in their head worrying about how they look or if they're doing the right thing. But when you quiet the noise inside your mind and allow your body to speak for you, pleasure becomes something alive between you. When you let go and let yourself feel, not thinking, not controlling, just feeling, you become magnetic to him. Your response tells him, I feel you, I want you, you affect me. That is the biggest turn on a man can experience. It makes him want to go slower or harder or deeper, depending on how your body reacts to him. He starts reading you, not guessing. He starts listening to your breath, not asking questions. He becomes more attentive, more focused, more present, because your reactions guide him without a single word. And here's the secret. Your response doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. It can be soft, sensitive, sensual. It can be the way you tilt your chin up when he kisses you, the way you whisper his name under your breath, the way your voice barely edges into a moan when his hands explore the right place, the way you pull him closer instead of just laying there waiting. These are the things that pull a man deeper into the experience. Men crave confirmation that what they're doing is pleasing you. Your response is that confirmation. When you show him, even in the smallest ways, that he's making you feel good, he becomes more confident. He becomes more passionate. He becomes more emotionally connected because your pleasure becomes his reward. And when you respond genuinely, without holding back, he won't just want to satisfy you. He'll want to keep exploring you, keep touching you, keep loving you until he feels every ounce of your pleasure. Your response becomes the invitation that turns intimacy into a shared electric experience he will never forget. One of the most deeply misunderstood parts of satisfying a man in bed is communication. Not the obvious kind, but the subtle, sensual language you use to guide him without ever making him feel wrong, judged, or inadequate. Men are incredibly sensitive to criticism during intimacy. Even the smallest comment, even an innocent correction, can make him freeze up inside. It's not because he's fragile, it's because a man's confidence in the bedroom is tied directly to how competent and desired he feels. When he senses criticism, he withdraws, but when you guide him seductively, softly, with warmth and invitation, he doesn't just stay present, he opens up, he becomes more passionate, and he gives you all the pleasure he has. There's a world of difference between saying, "not like that," and saying, "slow down, I love when you do it like this." One shuts him down. The other turns him on and pulls him deeper into you. Seductive communication is about shifting your tone from correction to collaboration. It's about letting your words sound like an invitation instead of instruction. You're not telling him what he did wrong. You're showing him what feels right for you in a way that excites him rather than embarrasses him. Men want to please the woman they love more than they will ever admit. When he feels he's pleasing you, he becomes confident. When he feels confident, he becomes adventurous. When he becomes adventurous, he becomes unforgettable. And all of that starts with how you speak to him in the heat of the moment. Your tone, your breath, your whispers, they guide him more effectively than any harsh words ever could. Think of communication during intimacy like a form of seduction. Every instruction is an opportunity to pull him closer, not push him away. If he's going too fast, don't tell him he's doing it wrong. Wrap your arms around him, pull him closer, and murmur, "Baby, take your time. I love when you go slow." If he's not touching you the way you want, don't criticize. Slide your hand over his, guide him gently, and whisper, "Right here. Yes, just like that." Men respond beautifully when you pair direction with desire. Seductive communication is also about letting your voice match your pleasure. The softness in your tone, the breathiness in your whispers, the little gasps that escape you, those sounds tell him more than words ever could. They guide him intuitively. They make him feel like he's unlocking a part of you no one else has access to. And nothing satisfies a man more deeply than that feeling. When you communicate with seduction instead of criticism, you create a safe, erotic space where he feels free to try, explore, and express himself without fear of disappointing you. And in that freedom, intimacy becomes more connected, more passionate, and far more satisfying for both of you. Because when he feels guided by your desire instead of judged by your words, he doesn't just want to touch you, he wants to worship you. Emotional foreplay is the kind of intimacy that begins long before the bedroom, and men crave it far more deeply than they ever say out loud. Most people think foreplay starts when the lights dim and the clothes come off, but the truth is, a man's desire for you builds throughout the entire day. It builds in the way you look at him, the way you speak to him, the way you touch him in passing, the way you make him feel valued, admired, appreciated. Emotional foreplay is the slow burning spark that prepares him to surrender completely when you finally come together. And the best part, you don't need to do anything extravagant. You simply need to connect with him in a way that reminds him he's yours. Men carry so much weight on their shoulders, responsibilities, stress, expectations that they rarely express. When you become the place where he feels calm, wanted, understood, his body naturally responds with desire. When you talk to him in a warm tone, when you appreciate his efforts, when you touch his arm for no reason, when you look at him like he's the only man in the room, you are lighting a fuse inside him that makes the bedroom feel like an explosion of connection instead of just an act. Emotional foreplay happens in tiny moments. The way you slide your hand across his lower back as you walk past him, the way you lean your head on his shoulder while watching a movie, the way you send him a subtle message during the day, thinking about you or can't wait to feel you tonight. That one tiny message can stay with him for hours, simmering in his mind, making him imagine the moment he finally gets home and has you in his arms again. Men respond intensely to the feeling of being wanted, admired, and emotionally close. When you create that emotional intimacy, he doesn't just want sex, he wants you. Not your body, not a physical release, but the whole experience of you, your warmth, your softness, your femininity. When he feels this connection, he becomes more open, more passionate, more expressive physically, because he feels emotionally safe with you. And emotional foreplay isn't just about building him up, it's about letting him feel closer to you, letting him see your softer side, your playful side, your affectionate side. When you hold his face in your hands for just one extra second, when you run your fingers through his hair, when you kiss him slowly, not out of habit, but out of intention, he feels cherished. And when a man feels cherished, he gives his woman a level of intimacy most women never get to experience. This kind of emotional connection makes the bedroom feel like a continuation of something deeper, not just a moment in isolation. It makes intimacy feel meaningful, passionate, unforgettable. It turns a simple touch into a spark, a kiss into a promise, and a night together into something he'll replay in his mind for days. Because when you bring emotional foreplay into your relationship, you don't just satisfy your husband physically, you satisfy him emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And that kind of satisfaction keeps a man craving you with a hunger that never fades. Satisfying your husband in bed isn't about being perfect, it's about being connected. When you bring presence, desire, response, seductive communication, and emotional intimacy, you don't just satisfy him, you become unforgettable to him. And the beautiful part, the more satisfied he feels, the more effort, love, and passion he brings back to you. Because when a man feels chosen, desired, and deeply connected, he gives you the best version of himself every night.